So what happens when the club gets too laid off is a lot of times the club won't react in a way that's beneficial for the golfer. So as we bring this club down, I want you to watch how the shaft moves here in transition. We kind of go from this laid off position, and as we start down, you can see the club actively getting steeper. And so when the club starts to get steeper, you've got some options, and typically poorer players will not compensate for this steepening effect, but good players tend to sense this steepening, and they will do something to make sure the club stops getting so steep. And so for you, that comes in the form of some early extension. So in my opinion, you're using your arms to steepen the club, and then the pivot helps shallow the club. Let me show you what I mean. So as we take this club down, you're going to see that your pelvis starts to move in off that line, your chest starts to back up and out of the shot, and when we get you down into impact, you can see that we don't have a lot of posture to us anymore. Well, we did that because that helped us shallow the club out late. So if I paused you, here we would say, oh, wow, the club's getting a lot steeper. But then we look at P6, and you can see that club in a pretty good spot. Well, in my opinion, that happened because, again, the club got laid off. We started to steepen it with our arms, but our body helped us shallow it back out. And so now the problem with this, even though the club was delivered, pretty straight into the golf ball, is we've really lost the functionality of our pivot. And so, like I said, the head has moved off this line, the pelvis is moving in off the line. We don't have a lot of posture to us. We're not rotating through the ball as much. The right hip has moved in a lot towards the ball. What happens as a product of all these things is we get a lot of what's called axial rotation or just club face twisting through the ball. And I think that can make your job a lot harder. So you can see a lot of, if you want to call it a flip, you can, but a lot of rotation there. So I think the question isn't, hey, can we fix my early extension? The question is, okay, why did we early extend? And in my opinion, it's because the club wanted to get a little bit steeper in transition. And so I think the question is actually, why did the club want to get steeper in transition? I really think that's the process we've got to go through when we problem solve this. And so if we watch this backswing, what you're going to notice right away is the hand path is going to work out and away from you, and we're going to get basically our arms and our club all the way to this thing way out here in front of us. And nobody really, besides Matt Wolff, keeps everything out there. What's going to happen is you're going to start to rotate your forearms to get this club into a balanced position back here. So now, as we took this club back, again, the hand path works kind of aggressively out through this line. I heard Rory call that line razor blades once. He's like, don't ever let your hands cross and hit the razor blades. So we're kind of pushing our hands into the razor blades. We've got all this mass and weight out here. So we are going to start rotating the forearms with almost no hand depth. And that's going to get the hands way too far out in front of us with the shaft rolled way too flat. We are now going to carry this lack of hand depth. We're going to carry this forearm rotation up to the top. And that forearm rotation is essentially, combined with that lack of depth, is what gets that club way too laid off at the top. So in my opinion, it's not about going after early extension. Let's go after the root cause of this issue. Let's get the hand path to work a little bit more in. Let's maybe add a little bit of hip turn to assist in that. And while we do that, let's keep the forearms a little bit more closed so that we can load this club into a better position at the top, avoid some of this steepening, and avoid the early extension and excessive axial rotation or flipping through the ball, okay?